I don't wanna grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid. Well, no, I have not flipped my mind as of right now. Apparently, Toys R Us may be making a comeback. I know, but they sold all of their stores, Nick. What the hell do you mean a comeback? Okay, so there's really confusing and interesting part here. They have liquidated all of their assets, however, they have not liquidated their brand. So right now, they still own and possess the rights to Toys R Us as a name. They were going to let that go as well in their bankruptcy auction, but decided to hold on to it, saying that the brand is too powerful. We need to hold on to this and figure out a way to make a return to the space. Which is interesting to hear because, well, Toys R Us was really unable to evolve into what it needed to be to succeed. This isn't uncommon for a company to want to retain the name even after bankruptcy to possibly make a comeback, especially if, well, your company was a household name. I mean, let's be honest here, the name Toys R Us is a very, very heavy-weighted name. Now, granted, it might not be associated perfectly these days, and it might not even come with quite the recognition that it had back in my childhood. Especially with, well, toys aren't really selling like they used to. However, there have been some interesting little leaks recently. I shouldn't say leaks, it's just there are little estimates that Toys R Us's closure has left an $11 billion hole in the toy industry. That means there are $11 billion worth of toys less being sold right now. It's a lot. That is an insane amount. To be fair, yeah, you can get your toys at Walmart, you can get your toys at Target. They don't have quite the selection of toys that, well, Toys R Us had. Mostly because Toys R Us was a specialty retailer focusing on toys. I can tell you this is a huge difference. If I were to go to buy my son a Nerf gun, Toys R Us still had the biggest selection of Nerf guns. I mean, they have ones that I couldn't even find on Amazon because they're Toys R Us. That was their thing. They carried toys. So I am kind of curious to what do they mean by a way to come back and be competitive in today's landscape. So there's a couple of big places that Toys R Us really screwed the pooch. First off, their website sucked ass. Navigating their website was much like navigating GameStop's website, which also sucks. We are going to a day and age where you can still be a retailer and still have very successful sales, but if your online piece does not function, if I cannot go onto the app and set up for pickup in store, maybe there's a lot of different pieces to this as well. Maybe have something shipped from one store to another, have it delivered to my home. There are just so many different things there that you need to be able to do. And unfortunately, you also have to be able to keep your customers' information safe. Shouldn't really word that as unfortunately, because that's important to me. GameStop was unable to do that, as we all know. But I think without that e-commerce piece, it's almost impossible to be a successful retailer in today's current landscape. And your other dilemma that you run into is you've got to be able to offer free shipping. I can tell you this, if I go onto your website and I see like, oh, you have to spend over $75 and one item costs like $50 for me to actually get free shipping, I'm probably not going to order on your website. That's a huge deal breaker for me. I have Amazon Prime. I can go, and I don't get Prime for the free shipping. Really isn't the biggest reason why I get Prime usually. It's just there's too many other options. There's too many other companies that'll give me free shipping, and there's too many other expedited options. If I go on there and it says 7 to 10 days for shipping, again, that's probably going to steer me away from you. If your prices are not competitive to your competitors, that is also another thing that can kill a company. That's one of the hugest ones, especially, so here's the part too, Toys R Us price matched. They just didn't advertise it very well. They even price matched Amazon as long as it was shipped from and sold by Amazon, as a lot of retailers currently do, except for Walmart. Walmart will not price match Amazon. They will tell you to go screw yourself. They don't price match anyone. They now brought about their app, and their app is, it's stupid. So, there are just so many different pieces to this pie for them to really become a competitive company again. Another important piece too would be, well, you've also got to have good associates and good employees. I'm not saying that Toys R Us had terrible associates and terrible employees, but you'd go in there and normally I heard typically how it wasn't that great to work there, the pay wasn't that good. There were just a lot of caveats to it, and there's only like 4 full-time positions in the store. You're too big of a store for that, by the way. You can't do that. People like customer service. That is a huge, huge thing in retail. That is what keeps a lot of people shopping in a store versus online. Either because, hey, I'm too stupid, I don't know about this product, I need you to tell me about it. Which, you can't do that with every product. I mean, if you came up to me and go, hey, what's the difference between this notebook paper and this notebook paper? It's fucking notebook paper, man. Now, with that also being cleared out, there are some stupid questions you get in retail, and unfortunately you're going to always have to tolerate those, but you still got to be able to service and make sure your customers are leaving happy. Hard to do in a Toys R Us when your kids are running around like psychopaths, but that is not Toys R Us's fault. That is the fact that my children are so overwhelmed by all of the colors and shiny things that are now surrounding them. But here's the interesting part too. I would think that Toys R Us is going to have to shrink down. It would have to turn more into, let's carry the top sellers. And, you know, I will say this. Toys R Us always released a really cool guide at the end of the year, which would be, these are the top toys that all the kids are interested in. Granted, I think I do a better job selecting toys for my kids than that does. I'm pretty sweet with toys. I like collectibles. Not that that's any sign of me liking collectibles up there or the other background that I use downstairs when streaming. But I'm very interested to see if they shrink down, because KB Toys already announced that they were coming back and they were planning on being back before this holiday, which is still yet to be seen. I haven't seen anything about KB Toys since Toys R Us is closing. And they said that they were going to try to rush to get it done before this holiday. And if they're not back by this holiday, they're going to miss a huge opportunity. And if Toys R Us does happen to come back around the same time as them, it's going to be a downhill battle for KB Toys again. Let's be honest here. I have a couple of fond memories of KB Toys, but the last thing I bought at a KB Toys was a TigerGame.com. If you don't know what that is, you're only going to regret it when you Google search it. I was very nerdy, and I bought pretty much any console I could get my hands on. That was also on clearance for like $20, and the games were like $3. So, with that being said, I don't see KB Toys being able to duke it out head to head with Jeffrey the Giraffe. And I do feel bad, because if you think about it, Toys R Us probably left a pretty big hole in the economy. I can't really say that bad, because we've been hiring at my work, and every single person that I call back never returns the message. Why apply at a place if you're not actually gonna try to work there? Crazy, right? Like, why the fudge would you do that? So, with all this in mind, I can't really see that this brand would return quickly. I understand what they're stating. I just don't think this is going to be a quick process, especially after they literally just declared bankruptcy. Like, they have no assets. I understand as investors, they probably have money elsewhere, but are they really going to be willing to invest it in a company they weren't able to save or turn around in the first place? And they let a lot of debt expire on Toys R Us. I mean, Toys R Us had a lot of debt that the taxpayers paid. So it'll be really interesting just to see where this all goes. Guys, I'm curious to what you think about this. You can let me know down in the comments down below. Do you think Toys R Us can actually make a comeback? What all do you think they need to do to actually become relevant again? We were all sad when they died. None of us really shopped there anymore. So I am curious to where your thoughts sit with this. I will see you all soon. I'll have plenty more content coming for you. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a thumbs up. You can click that subscribe button. And if you want to follow me anywhere else, it is all in the description box down below. I'll see you all later.